We stay a while longer in Parliament, where members of the minority are rising to the defense of World Bank Country Director Pierre-Frank Laporte over his comments on some power purchasing agreements signed by John Mahama's governments. Frank Laporte claimed that Ghana's debt crisis could be attributed to some of those agreements. The minority fought him, insisting he was dabbling in local politics. But a member of the Mines and Energy Committee, Paul Chumberima, says the World Bank Director only spoke the truth the NDC is not comfortable with.
What the country director said, or the World Bank country director said, was something that is factual. It's obvious that the PPAs that we signed in 2012 right up to 2016 is part of our problem. As we speak, between 2017 to 2020, we've paid over 12 billion cedis. That's how much we've paid in PPA's agreement. Until recently, that there were some negotiations and some of them agreed to go on setting. We were paying almost $1 billion every year. And you are telling us that it's not part of our economic challenges? I think we should commend the World Bank Director for saying what is the reality. It's an open secret that yes, our PPAs has had a lot of enormous, how do we call it, impact on our economy. And we should not be shy of it that, yes, the NDC government should take responsibility and rather come back to Ghana and tell them that they were doing it for our good, but rather they could have done it properly and not come back and make it look as if the World Bank Director should be called out and we say, no, I don't think so. The World Bank Director did good, and we should appreciate that.
Now to the Oti Region, where regenerative farming continues to thrive despite unpredictable weather patterns, replenishing rather than diminishing the resources needed for farming. The method restores organic matter in the soil, boosting its carbon sequestration rate and protecting biodiversity. It also prevents soil erosion and improves water infiltration, safeguarding water resources. It is a climate change adaptation and mitigation strategy. On today's edition of Climate Focus, JoyNews' Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin visited a regenerative farm and reports that a substantial amount of the acreage used for farming practice has been restored.
Clement Matumasin has just arrived at one of the plantations. Clement, who pioneered the regenerative agricultural method in Zangomacheri, believes it helps smallholder farmers to increase yield while protecting the environment.
The space is called Dream Village, and Dream Village is just basically the hub to empower young people and also the community to become more resilient in terms of food production, entrepreneurship training, and also just basically enhancing the quality of life in the rural settings. This is one of our hubs, which is in Zongo Macheri. We are currently developing the next hub in Dambai. So basically that's Dream Village. It's a place where people find their dreams.
It was a dream in 2007 that became a reality 10 years later, and Clement has now produced a variety of crops and plants on his 100 acres of farmland to supply food while also regreening the earth.
Dream Village was basically born from me. I had once upon a time grew up on the street. Other people helped me to become who I am. And I realized that I also had to find a way to give back to society. And I wanted to do that through community, through storytelling, and through my sharing and interaction with several people. In 2007, I created a mural art, a visual interpretation of what I think an ideal village will look like. And through that, we started about 10 years after that, we started implementing how the ideal village will look like. And this is the inception.
The structures here are eco-friendly.
The entire concept of this place is to create systems that helps us to live together with nature. And as you can see, even our architecture is using mud housing, using eco-habitat. We try as much as possible to avoid cutting trees, planting more trees, encouraging us to live together with nature. So this really is a hub that shows that we can actually live with nature without destroying everything that comes our way.
The Regenerative Farming Project has evolved into a hub for research and training of students to become better knowledge providers.
Some of our students graduated, they got jobs, they are all created jobs. In fact, in the next town, some of our students is also training other people to achieve their dreams. So there are quite some success stories. Besides that, we have the agroforestry demonstration farm that is still in existence, where people can learn about agroforestry or syntropic agriculture. Yeah, and quite a lot of young people came here to find inspiration, did their research. So there are quite some success stories. I mean, it's not all dark and gloom. But
Clement is inspired by his previous failures and learnings. He has bigger dreams.
From here, we are inspired through the learnings and the mistakes and everything that we had here. Is what we are. To establish something like this is, first and foremost, you have to have a dream of what you want. And secondly, you have to have the consistency and the passion to develop it. Because once upon a time, I had my own job as an IT expert in Tamale. I didn't need to come into the village, struggle to drive out mosquitoes and building structures and stuff like that. But I realized that we need to create an inspirational hub to inspire young people, especially young Africans like me.
Given the variety of challenges confronting food growers in recent years, farmers want farming method on which they can rely to produce high yields during difficult periods such as the influence of shifting weather patterns. Clement's project demonstrates that regenerative agriculture can help farmers solve a variety of problems. He says the numbers are encouraging, as do the testimonies of other farmers who benefited from the program, such as the Moringa Mothers Cooperative.
Jumano, Moringa na Jumano, Yasum, ye, Juma, Yan Yadria.
Mariama Kwame, one of the project beneficiaries, says she is able to prepare diverse meals and meet other basic needs.
Banana.
We grow bananas, beans, and maize, among other crops whose names I don't know in English. We can now make a variety of meals.
The intervention excised a queer named Kabu.
The intervention is beneficial to us.
And restoring the once degraded area to its natural state makes Abu Mansa happier.
The area had been degraded in the past, but it has now been restored and can be used for planting.
Clement is inspired by the power of learning from nature to establish a new site for Regenerative College in Dambai.
Yeah, and from here we are inspired through the learnings and the mistakes and everything that we had here is what we are using to develop the Regenerative College. So it's an experience that we continue to develop.
For him, giving back to the society in the form of environmental protection has become his primary interest. A report by Mohammed Nuruddin.